All right, welcome in. I'm now going to be reviewing all of Saturday's games from the NHL. There were 12 games on tap, so let's dive right into them, starting with an original six matchup between the Montreal Canadiens, and they were taking on the Boston Bruins. In the first period, Cole Caulfield would kick things off for the Habs, 9 minutes and 18 seconds into that frame, a power play goal, 16th of the season from Monahan and Slavkovsky. That lead didn't last too long as Carlo would tie the game up with just under 8 minutes remaining in that frame, with his third goal of the season from Frederick and Lacko. Armia would give the Habs a 2-1 lead with 5 minutes to go, his eighth of the season from Waugh and Monahan. DeBrusk would tie the game up with a minute and 50 seconds to go, his 11th of the season from James Van Riemsdyk. Heinen would score late in the first, giving the Bruins a 3-2 lead, his sixth goal of the season from Grizzlejic and Charlie McAvoy. So after 20 minutes of play, it was 3-2 in favor of the Boston Bruins. Mike Matheson would tie the game up for the Montreal Canadiens, getting his seventh goal of the season from Monahan and Suzuki, 6 minutes and 16 seconds into that frame. Heinen would then get his second goal of the game, his seventh of the season from Boqvist and Lindholm to give the Bruins a 4-3 lead, and that goal happened with 9 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Coyle would increase the lead to 5-3 with 8 minutes and 25 seconds remaining, his 16th of the season from Pastrnak and Marchand. Gallagher would cut the deficit to 5-4 with 6 minutes and 41 seconds to go, his eighth of the season from Harvey Pinard. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 5-4 in favor of the Bruins. In the third period, it was just an absolute onslaught, I'm not going to lie. Pastrnak would increase lead to 6-4, minute 26 seconds in, his 30th of the season. Marchand would increase lead to 7-4, his 20th of the season from Coyle, and that would happen 4 minutes and 32 seconds into the frame. 9 minutes and 13 seconds into the third, Zach would increase the lead to 8-4, his 10th goal of the year from DeBrusk and Van Riemsdyk, and then Heinen would get a natural hat trick just over a minute after that, his third goal of the game, 8th of the season from Geek and Shattenkirk. So 9-4 would be the final score. With that, the Bruins are 28-8-9, and with a loss, the Habs are 19-20-7. All right, let's take a look at the next game, which took place in Buffalo, and they had the Sabres. They're playing host to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Luckily, this wouldn't be a very high-scoring affair, so it shouldn't take that long to review. In the first period, Paul would open up the scoring, 6 minutes and 14 seconds into the frame, his 12th goal of the season from Hagel and Cirelli. Tyler Mott would increase the lead to 2-0 less than a minute after that, getting a shorthanded goal for the Bolts, 2-0 in favor of Tampa after 20 minutes of play. Cousins would finally get the Sabres on the board with 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go, his eighth of the season from Peterka and Dahlin. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 2-1 in favor of the Bolts. With just under 2 minutes to go, a minute and 16 seconds to be exact, DeHaan would increase the lead to 3-1, getting his third goal of the season from Hagel and Nick Paul. So 3-1 would be the final score in favor of Tampa Bay. With the victory, the Bolts are now 24-17-5, and with a loss, the Sabres have dropped to 20-22-4. All right, next matchup takes place in Philadelphia. The Flyers played host to the Colorado Avalanche. So we'll take a look at the matchup and the goal scoring summary from this game. O'Connor would give the Avs a 1-0 lead roughly halfway through that first period, 9 minutes and 58 seconds to be exact, getting his 9th goal of the season from Colton and Malzinski. Rantanen would give the Avs a 2-0 lead late in that period with a minute 24 seconds remaining, getting his 25th of the season from McKinnon and Colton. So after 20 minutes of play, it was 2-0 in favor of the Avs. In the second period, just 43 seconds into the frame, McKinnon would give the Avs a 3-0 lead, getting his 25th goal of the season from Wood and Manson. Farabee would finally get the Flyers on the board, getting his 16th goal of the season from Frost and Atkinson, and that goal happened a minute and 49 seconds into that second period. Logan O'Connor will get his second goal of the game, his 10th of the season from Wood and Colton, 8 minutes and 14 seconds, giving the Avs a 4-1 lead at that point. Thomas Konechny would cut the deficit in half, making it 4-2, his 22nd of the season from Tippett and Paling, and that goal happened with 7 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the period. McKinnon would notch his second goal of the game, his 26th of the season from Manson and Kiviranta, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, with just under 3 minutes to go. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 5-2 in favor of the Avs. In the third, Forster would cut the deficit to 5-3, getting a seventh goal of the season from Frost and Atkinson. Speaking of Atkinson, he would make the game interesting, to say the least, making it 5-4 with 8 minutes 11 seconds in that frame, his 12th of the season, assisted by Ristolainen and Cates. Rantanen would get his second goal of the game with just under 7 minutes to go in that period. Just over 7 minutes to go in the period. Getting a second goal of the game, is 26th of the season from Makar and Jonathan Drouin, and that would be a power play goal as well. Late in the frame, Logan O'Connor would get a natural hat trick, his third of the game, 11th of the season from McKinnon and Devin Toews. So 7-4 would be the final score in favor of Colorado. So with the victory, the Avs are now 30-14-3. And despite the loss, the Flyers are still in the top three of that Metropolitan Division, 25-15-6. All right, now we're off to Arizona, where we have the Coyotes, and they're playing host to the Nashville Predators. All right, so take a look at goal scoring summary from this game. So in the first period, Keller would open up the scoring roughly halfway through that period, 9 minutes and 52 seconds to be exact. Gets 18th goal of the season from Guntier and Dursey. In the second, he'd get a second goal of the game, his 19th of the season, assisted by Michelli just a minute and 20 seconds into that second period. Ryan Josi, the captain of the Predators, would finally get them on the board with a power play goal, 3 minutes and 42 seconds into the frame, his 9th of the season, assisted by Nyquist and Sissons. Carcone would increase the lead to 3-1 for the Arizona Coyotes, getting his 15th of the season from McBain and Dursey. In the third, Novak would cut the deficit to 3-2, but unfortunately, the Predators were not able to make a comeback, assisted by Forsberg and Josi, with a minute and 16 seconds to go. So 3-2 would be the final score in favor of the Coyotes. So with the win, the Coyotes are 22-19-3, and with the loss, the Nashville Predators are 25-20-1. All right, now we're off to Ottawa. We have the Senators playing host to the Winnipeg Jets. All right. This would be a low-scoring affair, so it wouldn't take long to review. In the second period, Appleton opened up the scoring late in that second period with 5 minutes and 25 seconds to go, recording his 8th goal of the season from Niederreiter and Sandberg. In the third period, Kelly would tie the game up, getting a 6th of the season from Tarasenko and Josh Norris, 4 minutes and 43 seconds in that third period. We would need overtime to settle this one, and with just 46 seconds to go, Nick Ehlers would get the game-winning goal, getting a 16th of the season, assisted by Pionk and Nemestikov. So with the victory, the Jets are still in first place of that Central Division with a record of 30-10-4, and with the loss, the Senators are 17-24-1. Got their first overtime loss of the season. So not every single team has at least one loss in overtime or a shootout as of now. And they're currently still sitting in at last in the Atlantic Division. All right. Now we're off to New Jersey, where we have the Devils, and they're playing host to the Dallas Stars. All right. Take a look at the goal scoring summary from this particular game. In the first, Joe Pavelski would kick things off for the Stars, 19th of the season from Jamie Benn and Robertson, a power play goal, 5 minutes and 42 seconds into that opening frame. In the second period, Hintz would increase the lead to 2-0, getting a short-handed goal for the Stars. Roughly 8 minutes into that frame, his 19th of the season, assisted by Sutter. With 3 minutes and 29 seconds to go, Matt Duchene would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 15th of the year from Sagan and Harley. Hintz would then get a very late goal for the Stars, getting his second goal of the game, his 20th of the year, assisted by Johnston and Sutter. So after 40 minutes of play, it was all Dallas, 4-0 at that point. In the third, Craig Smith would increase the lead to 5-0, getting his 5th goal of the year, assisted by Delandra and Harley. Johnston would get on the score sheet himself, making it 6-0, 13th goal of the season from Robertson and Lundell, 7 minutes and 18 seconds into that frame. So it was 6-0 in favor of the Stars in the third. Jesper Bratt would finally get the Devils on the board with 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go, his 17th of the season, assisted by Meyer and Heischer. Toffoli would score with exactly a minute to go, getting his 17th goal of the season, unfortunately, it was too little too late at that point for the Devils to make a comeback in this game. So 6-2 would be the final score. Dallas are now sitting at 27, 13, and 5. They are still third in that Central Division, while the Devils are still fighting for a playoff spot in the East with a record of 23, 18, and 3. All right, now we're off to Vancouver, where we have the Canucks playing host to the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right, let's take a look at the goal scoring summary from this game. So in the first, Höglander would kick things off for the Canucks, getting his 13th goal of the year from Sam Lafferty and Quinn Hughes. Höglander would then strike again, roughly 3 minutes after that, getting his second of the game, his 14th of the season, assisted by Aman and Garland. Speaking of Garland, he would also get on the goal scorer sheet himself, getting his 7th goal of the season from Blueger and Joshua, and that goal happened with 7 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the first. So after 20 minutes of play, it was 2-0 in favor of the Canucks. In the second, Nylander would finally get the Maple Leafs on the score sheet, getting his 22nd of the year from Mike Morgan O'Reilly, I should say, and TJ Brody, 4 minutes and 53 seconds into that frame. Jake McCabe would decrease the lead to 3-2, getting his 3rd goal of the year from Marner and Matthews, 7 minutes and 26 seconds into that frame. Nylander would strike yet again, getting his 2nd goal of the game, his 23rd of the year from Morgan Riley, 8 minutes and 19 seconds into that frame. So we're all tied up at 3 at that point. Late in that second period, Connor Garland would get his 2nd goal of the game, giving the Canucks a 4-3 lead, his 8th of the season, assisted by Blueger. So they had the lead 4-3 heading into the 3rd period. Mitch Marner would tie the game up with a short-handed goal, his 20th of the season, 3 minutes and 13 seconds into that frame. JT Miller would get a power play goal for the Canucks later on, 7 minutes 11 seconds into that frame, getting his 21st of the season, assisted by Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson. Pettersson would then increase the lead to 6-4 late in that, or just over halfway through that frame, with 9 minutes and 18 seconds to go. A power play goal was 25th of the season, assisted by JT Miller and Quinn Hughes. So despite the fact that they blew a 3-0 lead, they were still able to salvage a victory in this matchup. So with the victory, the Canucks are 31, 11, and 4, still first in that Pacific Division. And with the loss, the Leafs are 22, 14, and 8. All right, now we're off to St. Louis. We have the Blues, and they're playing host to the Washington Capitals. So in the first, Colton Parayko would kick things off for the Blues, getting a short-handed goal. Very scarce for a defenseman to get a short-handed goal, his 8th of the season, assisted by Rob Thomas, 2 minutes and 37 seconds into that opening period. In the second, Braden Shen would make it 2-0, getting his 10th of the season from Justin Falk and Pavel Buchnevich, 7 minutes and 44 seconds into that middle frame. In the third period, Jake Neighbors would get a late power play goal, increasing the lead to 3-0, with 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go, his 14th of the season from Rob Thomas and Jordan Kyrou. So 3-0 would be the final score in favor of St. Louis. With the victory, the Blues are now 22, 20, and 2. It's a lot of 2s in that. And with the Washington Capitals, they're 22, 16, and 6. All right. Now we're off to Calgary, where we have the Battle of Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers were in town to take on the Calgary Flames. In the first, Ryan McLeod would open up the scoring with just under 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes and 57 seconds to be exact, getting his 9th goal of the season from Warren Foegele and Vincent Desharnais. In the second, Weegar would tie the game up roughly 2 minutes into that middle frame, getting his 10th of the season from Blake Coleman. So after 40 minutes of play, we were all knotted up at 1. Just a minute and 39 seconds into that third period, Sam Gagner would give the Oilers a 2-1 lead, getting his 5th of the season from Cody Ceci and Holloway. Zach Hyman would get a late goal for the Edmonton Oilers, recording his 28th goal of the season, assisted by Nugent Hopkins, and that goal happened with 35 seconds to go in the third. So for the Oilers, they have now improved to 26, 15, and 1, and for the Flames, they are now 21, 20, and 5. And just on a quick little side note for the Oilers, This is now their 13th straight victory, marking a record for the most wins by a Canadian team in a row. So I think the NHL record is 17 games. So if they happen to get 4 or 5 more wins in a row, they could easily have the record for most victories in a single season in a row. So only time will tell. All right, now we're off to California, where we have the San Jose Sharks, and they're playing host to the Anaheim Ducks. All right, let's take a look and see who won. So in the second period, no scoring in the first, Marc-Andre Vlasic would record his second goal of the season from Logan Couture with 4 minutes and 54 seconds to go. Lacombe would get his first goal of the season for the Ducks just 15 seconds after Vlasic opened up the scoring, getting his first of the season from Adam Henrique. Burrows will get his first goal of the season for the San Jose Sharks with 2 minutes and 27 seconds to go, assisted by Thomas Hertl. Zetterlund would record his 13th goal of the year from Ryan Carpenter with just 28 seconds remaining, and then with just 4 seconds to go in that second period, Adam Henrique would cut the deficit to 3-2, getting his 12th of the year from Terry and Carlson. So there's a lot of scoring within the last 5 minutes of that second frame. 5 goals to be exact. In the third, Jan Rutta would get his first goal of the season for the San Jose Sharks. We're making it 4-2 at that point, assisted by Zetterlund and Mike Hoffman. McTavish would get a power play goal for the Ducks, cutting the deficit to 4-3, getting his 13th of the year from Terry. And then Hertl would score with just under 10 seconds to go, 7 to be exact, his 14th of the year from Nico Sturm. So 5-3 would be the final score in favor of the San Jose Sharks. So with the victory, the Sharks, even though they're still in last place, they were able to get a win, 11-31-4. And with the loss, the Ducks are 15-29-1. All right, now we're off to Las Vegas, where we have the Golden Knights, and they're playing host to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So there's no scoring in the first. We have to jump ahead to the second period. 9 minutes and 2 seconds to be exact. Ryan Graves would record his third goal of the season, open up the scoring from Erik Karlsson and Evgeny Malkin. Gensel would increase the lead to 2-0 with just about 6 minutes to go in that frame. His 20th of the season from Crosby and Marcus Pettersson. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 2-0 in favor of Pittsburgh. Jonathan Marchessault would get the Vegas Golden Knights their first goal of the game, his 20th of the season from Barbashev and Martinez. 5 minutes, 18 seconds in that frame. Less than 2 minutes after that, Dorobiev would tie the game up, getting his 6th of the year from Stevenson and Mark Stone. And with just about 10 minutes into that third period, 9 minutes and 40 seconds to be exact, Bryson will get his first goal of the season for the Vegas Golden Knights, assisted by Barbashev and Pietrangelo. So Vegas would come back after being down 2-0 in the third and tie it up and eventually win the game in regulation. So with the victory, the Vegas Golden Knights are 27-14-5, still second in that Pacific Division, while the Penguins are still chasing a playoff spot with a record of 21-16-6. All right, the last game from Saturday takes place in Los Angeles, where we have the Kings, and they are playing host to the New York Rangers. So in the first, Kevin Fiala would open up the scoring late in that frame, just 35 seconds to go, his 11th of the season from Trevor Moore. In the second, Chris Kreider would tie the game up with 5 minutes and 21 seconds to go, his 21st of the season from Adam Fox and Zibanejad. With just under 2 minutes remaining, 1 minute and 47 seconds to be exact, Quinton Byfield would get his 13th goal of the season, making it 2-1 at that point in favor of the Kings. There was no scoring in the third, so 2-1 would be the final score in favor of Los Angeles. They're 22-13-8 as of now, and the Rangers, despite the loss, are still first in that Metropolitan Division with a record of 28-15-2. All right, that takes care of my recap from Saturday night. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. And until next time, take care.